Now let's see how to install MySQL. First of all, you need to open the site mysql.com. Just need to go in the download section. Here you will see MySQL community downloads. When you will click on it, you can see MySQL installer for Windows. From here you can download MySQL installer. Here you can see the latest version of the MySQL installer, and from here you can click on the download. Basically here you need to click on no thanks. So when you click on this button, it will start downloading. Now after when it has been downloaded successfully, then you need to install it, and installation is very simple. If you need to detail of installation, I will provide the link and the description. Otherwise it's very simple. You need to only select some options. So after installation you need to search MySQL Workbench. So you need to start this. Here you can see the welcome screen of MySQL Workbench. A visual tools, you can say it is IDE, which is used for creating, executing of SQL queries. Mostly it is used for using the SQL queries. However, using this tool, we will be going to create a fresh new database, or you are going to update the existing database. For starting, you need to create a MySQL connection. If already you have the username, see the local instance of MySQL, then you can click on it. Otherwise, you will be selecting MySQL connection. From here plus button, you will press this button and it will ask you to create a connection. So as I have already a connection, I will click the existing connection. The MySQL Workbench is displayed, and here you can see on the screen. On the left side, here you can say where it is saying navigator. Here are two tabs basically, administration tab and schema tab. Schema tab is the actually main tab on which we are going to work on. Schema means we are going to create DBs. This is the sample DB, or you can say a sample schema. On the right side, you can open a new window. You can say editor for the SQL queries. If I click on it, suppose I execute some sample queries. Later we will look into these queries for detail. Just for the testing, I will write a query, use sample DB semicolon, and next I will write select static from customers. Here you can see I have write two queries. One of them is use query, and in which I am telling the MySQL server that I am going to use a DB with the name sample DB. Second one is the query where I am saying select static from customer. Now after writing these queries, we can execute all the queries at once, or also we can select any query and then execute the selected one. Suppose I only execute this query, then here is the button, and here in the output you can see this query has been executed successfully. Let's select the second one query, and from here I am going to execute this one, and here you can see the data has been selected from a table customer of database sample DB, and these are the columns and these are the rows. Here you can see the data which is coming from a DB sample DB of table customer. Here are different visualization you can select in the form, field types, query states, execution. You can select back to the result, and here are some other options which you can look in detail later on. We can look into some other things. Here you can open and the existing file. For example, if I open a sample DB, so these are some queries which were written before, and later on you can select these queries. So if this file also you can save it in on the disk, and later on you can refer them or you can open them so that you can use them. Now we will remove this sample database and will create a fresh database for our course. So that database we will be using in our course. So let's delete this schema. You need to simply right click on this database, and here from the menu you will select drop schema. It will ask, do you want to review the SQL or drop now? You can simply, if you want to review, you can review. This is the same statement already I have written here, drop database and then the name of the database. So you can execute here, it will drop the database. Now in the navigator tab here you can see that if I refresh it, here you can see that database has been removed successfully. Now let's open our existing file for creating a database. I will open the SQL file from here, and when I will open it, here you can see a sample script file. This script file will create a database with the name storedb, or you can rename it and can put uh, uh, a new name as per your convenience. One thing I would like to mention here, there is no need to worry about a complex structure you are looking into this SQL file. Actually there are 3 to 4 different statements like create table, insert data, and you can say there is some drop statement. So 4 to 5 different statements are here used, which are used basically to this script will basically create a database, then it will create a table, then it will create the records into that table. So there are few tables, 5 to 6 tables will be created in database. In this course you will see that are these things we will explain in detail, and after that you will see that there is no complexity in SQL. So if you put a little bit attention to learn it, then it can be easily handled and can be easily covered. So let's execute. I am not selecting any statement. Without selecting, I will execute this query. So from here we can execute. As soon as I will execute, here in the output window you can see different operations have been performed. Now I will go here in the schema tab, I will click on the refresh button. So now you can see a new database with the name storedb has been created successfully. When I will expand this DB, here you can see there is a tab of tables. When I will open this tab, here you can see there are different tables: customer, employees, office, etc., etc. Now when I will click on the customer table, here you can see on the right side there is a button just like grid. When you click on it, it will show the records of this table. Similarly, if you go on the employees and click on this table, it will show the records of that table. So in this way we can select the data from these tables. Here I can select these table. One more thing, if I click on when I will select the customer table and go on the setting, it will show you the structure of this table. So column name, these are the column names, these are the data types, and these are the some constraints which are applied on this table. So you can change or you can alter the table from this front end as well. Now let's move on our core concepts which we are going to cover in this course. Now we will see the select statements, and let's see what is select statement. Select statement is widely used in any database. The select statement allows you to select data from the database, or you can say from one or more tables you are going to select data. So it means for using the select statement, first of all, there should be a DB and so that we can use that DB in the select statement. For that, you have noticed currently database being used in this for this query editor is the store DB. So here you can see that the other DBs are not highlighted, or you can say not in a bold font, but the store DB is in the bold font. It means currently it is being used. And if you want to use this database, then you need to right click on it, and from here you need to click on the set as default schema. When I click on it, here you can see the store DB which was previously highlighted. Now that is normal now, but this test DB is currently being used and now it is highlighted. So in this way you can select any database. Even you can also use the use statement, use store DB. If I will use this statement and if I select it and execute it, now after the execution of this statement, you can see previously test DB was highlighted, but now the store DB is highlighted. It means that now we are going to work on the store DB. So why I am saying this, actually when you are going to use the select statement, as the select statement will work on a specific DB and on a specific tables of that DB. Now let's move on the select statement and see what is the select statement and what is its syntax. So this concept is very important for the beginners. If you are going to start the MySQL or SQL, then the select statement is very important. First of all, keep in mind that the select statement allows you to select data from one or more tables. It means mainly or typically, or you can say commonly, the select statement we will be using with the tables and with the columns. So definitely the columns will belong to some table, and that table should belong to some database. Suppose I drill down this customer table. Here there are different columns: customer number, customer name, contact, last name. So these are basically columns of this table customer, and the customer table belongs to the tables of database store DB. So these, for beginners, these concepts are very important. To write the select statement in MySQL, you will be using this syntax. First of all, you will use the keyword select, and after the select, then here you need to mention the list of columns. Let's see the column names in the DB. If I am going to select the column from the customer, then here are some customer number, comma, customer name. After that, you will write the keyword from, and after that you will write the name of table, customer table, and at the end of the select statement you need to write the semicolon. So if I execute this statement, here you can see that this query has the result in the below grid, and it has fetched the customer number and customer name from customer table. So here are few points you need to keep in mind when you are going to use the select statement, and here you are going to mention the customer the name of the columns. If there is a single column, then there is no need of comma, but if there are multiple columns, then you need to separate them with the help of comma. Customer name. In this way, you can select the data from the table customer. Now, here you can see the select statement actually consists of 4 parts. First of all, the keyword select, then secondly, the column names we need to mention, and the third one is a keyword from, and the fourth one is the name of the table. Here you can see I have write in the capital letter, uppercase letter, but you can write in the lowercase letter. Even you can write in the lowercase. Similarly, the from keyword can also be written in the lower capital. So there is no there is no impact if you are either you are going to use the uppercase or you are going to use the lowercase. No impact of it. And at of the end you need to apply the semicolon. Semicolon basically denotes that this is the end of statement. So this is basically a single statement, and when you are going to write the next query, then it means in this way the MySQL will know that you are going to write the next statement. Secondly, you need to keep in mind that the semicolon is optional. Even you can write with this semicolon, this query should work perfectly. So the semicolon is optional, but this is a good practice that you should separate each statement with the semicolon. We will write select keyword, select, and after that static from customers. When I will execute it, it will basically display the all columns existing in this table. When we use this select statement, not the every time we will be selecting all the columns. Basically here we need to select some columns. When I will execute this query, then you can see only 2 columns has been displayed. So it means with the select statement, if we want to select all the columns, then we will use this syntax select static from, and if we want to display some particular column, then we will only differentiate that from. Here we have removed the static, and instead of static we have mentioned the column names, or you can say field name, customer number, customer name, and even further you can include some more columns which are available in this. Here we can include contact first name, then we can include contact last name. Now when I will execute this query, this will display the 4 columns which we have mentioned in the select statement. So in this way we can use select statement. Let's see how we use the where statement. I am going to write some more statements along with this statement, where customer number is equal to. Now if I select and execute, here there is some error. So let's see what is the error. Actually this column name is invalid, so that's why it is giving here error. Now let's see what is error. Error says unknown column customer number in where class. So here is the spelling mistake. I will copy and paste here. Now I will execute it, so it should execute it successfully. Now you can see that with the select statement we have put a new keyword where, and after where we have write the name of a column, then equal sign. After equal sign we have mentioned 112. Now what is this? Actually this statement will select the columns from the table customer, and where condition is telling that you have to fetch only those which are validating this condition, or you can say which can fulfill this condition. And what is this condition? Customer number should be equal to 112. And if I change this condition and let's say I write here 103, now it will select the record which is in which the customer number is 103. We can also mention where customer number is this and contact first name is equal to this. Now let's see what happened with this statement. Now you can say this statement is executed successfully. Now we are saying that the records which have to be fetched from customer table should contain a customer number is equal to 103, and contact first name should be this one, which is Karin basically. Now if I change this one, this condition will not fulfill and it will display no record. So in this way you can use the AND statement. And secondly, there is another statement you can also mention here, or, and now this condition should be return a true value. Reason is that we are saying we need to select the records where customer number is equal to 103 or contact first number is equal to this. Now in this case, as first condition was matched, so that's why it has ignored the second statement and it has displayed this one. Now for suppose I am going to mention here something different. Now it will also does not fulfill the condition, it will also will not fulfill the condition, so it means there should be no record. So you can see here is no record. So in this way we can use our operator with the where clause, and in this way we can limit the records or we can fetch the record based on this condition. And there is another operator which can be used with the where statement, that is not. So we can use the not operator within the where statement, and actually we will need to put and. So now if I execute this one, you can see there is no record, but if I put this one something else other than Karin name, then this record can be found. And if I say not Karin, then this 103 record will not be fetched. So if I execute this one, you can see 103 has been removed. And if I say not jeans, then even I can say not and not contact first name is equal to Jean. So now these both records will be excluded from this statement. So here you can see that the above two records has been removed. But if I check the customer, within the customer there is a record 103 112 with the name Karin and Jean. And if I execute this, so this means we should not include this one, and also we should not include this one in the select. So with this, these records will be excluded. So in this way we can use and, or, and not operator. So these operators can be used with the select statement. One thing more important, and that is called order by. Now I want to sort these records based on some column. I will use order by. Suppose I say city, means I need to use a column name after order by, and I say descending means in descendant. So this statement will fetch the record and will sort the record based on city in a descending order. Here you can see that it has been in descending order. but if I put here ASC mean ascending order, now the records will be fetched based on ascending order. So similarly, we can use any other column or multiple columns. Even you can say customer name and then city. So now first of all it will sort based on customer, then based on city. Here you can look. So in this way we can use multiple columns in order by class. Now suppose I want to limit the record, and I can use a limit statement which will, now it is returning 123 rows. If I clear this and again if I execute, it is saying it has returned 123 record, and I say limit it to 10 records. Now it will fetch only 10 records. Here you can see only 10 records has been fetched from the database, and if I put the 5, then in case only 5 records will be fetched from database. So in this way we can use the limit statement. There is another important statement which is called like statement. Now we will look into this statement. Now like statement we will use with the where statement, where I can say where city like Singapore. So let's see what happened. Here you can see it will fetch all the records with the city Singapore. And even I can say if I want contact first name is equal to Wendy. Now it should bring only one record. The reason is that we have used a statement like, and we are saying we only need the customer with the first name Wendy and with the city Singapore. Now basically we can also use some special characters with the like statement, and in terms of SQL we say these are wildcards. Like we can use the ampersand operator. If I say we can use the percentage sign operator, and I say that I need to fetch the city like AP. Now it will fetch all the records in which the city name contains a string AP. And here you can see as the in Singapore AP is mentioned, so it has fetched this one. Let's see some other values and we can fetch that one. If I say ES or AS, if I say AS, then in case it will fetch the record in which a city string, or you can say city value, contains the value AS. Here you can see here is AS, here is AS, here is AS. So in this way we can use like. And also there are some other variations of the wildcard, and we can use some other way. Like if I say find any value in the city which start with LAS. So in that case this variation will work as, and now let's see what happened. It should bring all the values which start with the city name which has LAS installed, and some other SAN. If I say that fetch all the records in which city name starts with SAN, then it will fetch only the records in which the city name is starting SAN. So here you can see it has fetched record. Now another variation of using this percentage sign, I can say fetch all the records in which the city name ends with EL. If I execute this query, this will fetch the city which ends with EL. Suppose I am going to say that RE, if the city name ends with RE, then that record should be fetched. Here you can see, as the Singapore city contains the ending characters RE, so that's why it has fetched that one. So in this way you can use wildcards. Another statement which can be used along with the where is the in statement. Suppose I want to fetch the records of some customer, which include some values of customer ID, and suppose there are 10 records, 20 records. There is one way that we can say where customer number is equal to 103 and customer number is equal to 104 and customer number is equal to 105 and so on. So in this way, by using AND operator, we can fetch the records from this table. Or you can say, sorry, here I will put R so that it should fetch any record which is existing from these. So if I will execute it, here you can see it has fetched this record. So let's see what other numbers are available. Other numbers are 112 and 114. So it should fetch all the three records which are existing in. Now in this way, if there are, suppose there are tens of records or 20s of records, then in that case this is not feasible that we are going to write and or, but we should adopt another way, and that is in statement. So instead of writing these things, I will write where customer number in, and here I will write the values. Suppose I say 103 comma separated 112 114. Now in this way I can select the records. So here you can see that the in statement has the same work as we previously see in the OR statement. Now there are also other records which can be fetched, and that is 119 12. So in this way we will separate by comma and will put the values, and in this way we can select all the records which are in. Another variation which can be used with the in statement, we can write here select customer number from order. Now in this way, instead of writing the value one by one separated by comma, we can also execute this query as well. So here you can see all the records has been fetched. Actually these if I execute this, only this one, then you can see this has fetched the customer number. Now there is some internal mechanism which handle this query, and the in statement, either you can put the values separated by commas, or you can put, or you can select from any other table, and in this way you can use this in statement. So this is very useful statement which you should remember, keep in mind, as in practical life it is very important to use. We can use the between statement, where customer number between 103 and 119. So this should fetch the records in which the customer number is existing between these values, including 103 and including 119 and all the values in between these values. So here you can say it has fetched 103, and if I put 200, then it should fetch all the records which are existing in these statements. Here you can see all the records has been fetched. So this is basically the use of between statement. So in SQL this is also a very important statement which can be used. we can use aliases with customer with the column names or with the table names. Here I am going to use with the customer with the columns. So instead of showing a long name, customer number, customer name, here I can use an alias. As I will use as statement as and will give the alias. I can say cust number. Now it should display the column name cust number instead of displaying custom number. Similarly, here I can use as and simply I can say name. So if I execute this query, here you can see the first column name which previously was showing the customer number, now it is showing cust number. And similarly, the customer name which was previously showing the customer name, now it is showing name. So in this way, you can use the alias, and there is no need for this is optional. You can remove it, and only just you can put the alias, then it will also work. And when you will be working on the joins, then there are in joins there are you are using multiple tables in joins. In that case also we need to use the alias, and here we can use the alias name with the customer. Suppose I say C, and here then when you are going to refer this table, you can see C dot, and then after the dot you can see here with the C all the possible columns of this table are showing here. The reason is that we have used alias of customer table, and now we can refer further in the where condition or in the further query statements being used. You can say, so we can use the alias as, and here also you can use as statement along with the alias, and this should work perfectly, and it is working perfectly. So this was the select statement which we have used, and you have seen the different variations of the select statement. One thing you have noticed that the select statement mainly is working with the columns, or you can say fields plus tables. Means the select statement basically is going to work with the columns plus table, or you can say columns, tables plus records of the table. As when you are going to use the where statement, it basically filter the records, or it will tell you that what records you have to fetch from the table. So this was about the select statement. Further we will move in the advanced level and see further statements. Now we will look into joins. So let's see what are joins. Joins are basically a way in which we combine the columns of two or more tables into a single query. We can fetch some records from one table and some records from other table, and then we can combine them. Now let's see how we do. Suppose I have a table with the name orders, and here you can see here is the order number, order date, and in the last column you can see here is the customer number. Now if I select the records from the customer, here I can see there are a lot of records which are related to customer. If I clear the output window, then I can see how many records are returning from this statement. It is returning 122 records, and the order is returning 326 records. Now it means some records are there, 326 records are there, and 122 records are there. First of all, keep in mind that there are different type of joins which we can use in the SQL, but most commonly used types are inner join and outer joins. So these are the most common types which are frequently used in any RDBMS. If you are working in MySQL, or you are working in Oracle, or you are working in Microsoft SQL Server, inner join and outer join should be covered by each developer, or if you are working on any application which is involved which has involved the database, or you are working on databases, then inner join and outer join should be considered seriously, and all the your database related work or future will depend on these joins. So first of all, we will look into inner joins. Now suppose I select orders dot static, and then I put customers dot static from orders, and now I write inner join, and I am going to join customers on customers dot customer number is equal to orders dot customer number. So let's see how it works. I will execute, and here you can see the records which it has returned are 326 records. So what I have did here, I have joined two tables. One of them is orders, and with orders I have joined a new table with the name customer, and here you can see the records are coming from both tables. First of all, orders.static mean select all the columns, and customer.static mean select all the column from customers. So here you can see first of all the column order number, order date, required date, and customer number is coming up to this column. It is coming from orders, and after that it is coming from the customer. Here you can see customer name, contact, and you can see in this way we have joined these tables. It is actually joining the two tables, orders and with order. You can say order is the first table and the customer is the second table. We are going to join the orders table with the customer table based on customer number. So this is the actually important thing, that we have to join based on some columns, as this column was common in both the table. So you can see it was basically a primary and foreign key relationship. So here the relationship will come. This is the point where the relationship are going to be used. Actually we create a relationship. How we create a table order. Here is the order number, and in the last you can see here is a column with the name customer number. Why we are using the customer number here? Actually this is the foreign key in order table. Its primary key is there in the customer table. So this is basically is being used. This is the customer number. So what is the advantage of relationship using in this way? You can say the customer number, a customer can be used in the multiple orders. You can say today if a customer has placed an order, say the customer number 103, then after few days it can place a new orders. So again we will need to use that customer in the customer. If all the columns, customer name, last name, phone, address, if you put in the orders table, then it will be data redundancy. Data will be repeated for each and every record. Instead of using this customer number, we will need to put all the data within this table. So this is the reason we put the primary foreign key relationship, or you can say parent child tables. In this is the basically child table. In this case this is the parent table. So parent table have a primary key and child table has a foreign key. So in this way we can relate the table or can make the relationship between the table. So the foreign key rule is that the here either the value will come from the customer table or it should be null. Even it cannot be zero. There is difference between the null and the zero. Null mean nothing, but a zero is definitely a value. So this is the relationship, and in this way we can join table. Now let's see what is inner join. Inner join basically looks into the table and it see if the records are existing in both the table. If the customer number is existing in the order. If the customer number is existing in the customer, then that record will be displayed. And if any one of the tables does not contain a customer number, then that records will not be displayed. So in this way we use inner join, where we want to make sure that both the tables should contain the records. Now we will see how it is working. We will use the where condition, where customers dot customer number is equal to 496. Let's see what happened. You can see now the records have been displayed. So there are 4 records which are, you can say, existing. Customer number is also existing in the table customers as well as in the orders. Now if I put the customer number to 497, then let's see if there are some records or not. If I select, you can say there are no records. So it is due to, if I select the customer and go to the last record, here I can see this record is existing in this table. But if I select the orders and number is equal to 497, so let's see whether here is existing. Here is no record existing, but the record is existing in the customer table. So if I put this customer is equal to this, you can see this. So here you can see this record existing in this table, but there is no order of customer 497. So that's why when we are going to join this table, there will be no records. If we want the records from the customer, and even if order is existing, then also it should show the records. If even orders are not existing, then also it should show the records. So for that we use the outer joins. So now we will look into what are the outer joins. There are different types of outer join: left join, or you can say left outer join; right join, or you can say right outer joins. Let's execute this query. If I execute this query, here you can see now the records have been fetched. So this is the left join. In left outer join, if the table in the left table means the table 1, if that record is existing, then it will display the record. But you should here notice that this record is existing in the customer table, but this record is not existing in the orders table. So that's why in the order table you can see it will return the null value. So there are no orders, so that's why it will return the null value. Simply you can write it left join. If I will execute, this will also execute it successfully. So this was the left join. Now let's see what is the right outer join. So if I place here right instead of left, if I write here I will keep the right outer join. And now let's see if there are records or not. So here you can see there are no records. Reason is that now we are saying that the records should be fetched only if the records are existing in the right table. Right means second tables, and second table is orders table. So if the records are existing in the orders table, then it will fetch, otherwise not. So if I will put 496, then it should fetch the records which are related to customer number 496, and here you can see the records have been fetched successfully. So this is the right outer join. Now we will move on more complex examples of joins. We will needs to execute a task, and the task is this: that we have the following 4 tables. We have a table with the orders, Secondly, we have a table with the order detail, and there is another table with the name products and another table with the name of customers. Suppose we have a requirement from the client that we need to show a report, or you can say we need to show a data of customers, which includes its order detail, and definitely the order detail will contain what is quantity, what was the product, what was the product name. In this slide here you can see there is some sample data. In the real time scenarios, first of all the data should be in your picture. We need to show a report of the customers, or you can say we need to show the orders of customers. This order table is being linked with the order detail based on order number. So this is the column which is referring with the order details table. So it means when we are going to join order with the order detail, then this column will be used to join these two tables. Now from these two tables we can get the order date, and secondly we can get that in that what were the products, and third one is what was the quantity and what was the price. So these information we will be fetching from these two tables. This is the product code, but we don't know what was the product name, so that product name we will be finding from table products. And how we will link this table order detail with the products? This is the product code, this is a column, this column will be joined column product code. So in this way we can join this table with this table. Now another important thing is that we also need to know the order in the order detail, that what was the customer. We will find this column in the orders table, and that column is basically referring to the customer table with the customer number. So actually this is the column which will be joined with this table. So this is the actual picture in which we are going to show the orders of customer, and that report should show order date, customer name, product name, and what was the quantity order, and what was the price, etc., etc. You can say this is the task basically we are going to perform. So let's move on the Workbench MySQL. So here first of all I am going to select static from orders. So this will tell me what is the records in the orders table. So here I will remove the static. Instead of static I will use order number. And one more thing, here I will use the alias for orders. I am going to use O mean orders. It is alias O dot order number and O dot order date. If I execute this query, so this is actually fetching the records from the orders table. So I include one more column, O dot status. So it will tell the status of the order. Now let's check if this query is okay up till then. Yes, it is okay. Now we need to join other table to fetch other detail of the orders, and in the order there is another table customer. So let's see, I join it, left join customers, and the abbreviation will be used as C, and C dot customer number is equal to O dot customer number. Now I have joined this table with this table. Now next I need to fetch the records from the customer table. So here I will provide the comma, C dot customer name, and after that customer address, C dot address line 1, and C dot city. So let's see if this query is working or not. So here you can see this query is working perfectly. Currently we have joined one table with the other table. The orders has been joined with the customer. So this is the order number, order date, status, and customer name, address, city. Now the data is being fetched from these two tables, and the next one is which we need to join is the orders detail. And next we can join the orders detail, and we will keep the abbreviation as OD mean order detail. And how we are going to join on OD dot order number is equal to O dot order number. And now we have joined, so it means in the select statement we can mention its column. Here we will mention od dot product code, od dot quantity order, od dot price each. So if I execute this query, so let's see, there is some error, clear, and again I will execute it. Unknown column, quantity ordered, there was a spelling mistake. Now I can see that I have combined the three tables and the records has been fetched. Now what we need to join, there is one more table which we need to join, and that table is basically product. So left join products, and for products I will use the alias as p on p dot product code is equal to od mean order detail dot product code. Now this we have joined this table as well. Now we can also include the columns of this table in the select statement. So here I will rewrite. First of all, we will see what columns are there, and these column names should be in front of you. So here I can write p dot product name, and here you can say the product description, p dot product description. Now let's execute this query and see if this query is running fine or not. So the query is running perfectly, and here you can see that we have achieved our task. And what were our tasks? Let's review that. Task was this, that we need to display a report in which we can see the customer orders along with its product detail, customer detail, order detail, and etc. So these four tables were there, and we joined the order with the order detail based on order number. Then we join the order based on customer number with the table customer. Then we join order details table with the products table based on product code. So this was the task which we have executed successfully. So in real time scenarios, or you are when you are working on the projects, then in this way you can perform your task and you can complete your task. Now you have clearly looked into it, that how we can analyze. So basically in these cases there is logic involved to some extent, plus some analysis is required. So if you are new to on any database, first of all, in this way you can analyze the table one by one. You will need to analyze the table, each table. After analyzing each table, then you need to look into what relationship is between these two tables. Then you need to keep in mind the task which you are going to perform. So based on task you will be able to execute it, and then you can complete your task. So this was the complex example, or you can say this was an example in which we have joined multiple tables, and definitely it will give you a good idea of joins. So this was our tutorial related to joins. So hopefully you have enjoyed it.